Hello again, Lobo fans, and welcome into your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with head football coach at UNM, Danny Gonzales. Coach G, this week, the score 49-39 Lobos. You finish off the year with back-to-back wins, and you take down Fresno State for the first time since you were playing back in '94. How about those Lobos?
That's obviously a long time ago. It's another door we knocked down. The kids knew about it. I mean, I'm a big history buff within our program anyway, and there was a day that Fresno State beat us 94-17, and they actually scored 100 points, but they took the touchdown back because I think they probably felt sorry for us. But the next year with Terrence Mathis, we beat that same Fresno State team that was undefeated and ranked in University Stadium, our University Stadium, not University Stadium West. So it was really nice to be able to get that win over Fresno State. I mean, Stoney Case was our quarterback when I was a true freshman, and he led us to a victory. I think it was 49-32 at that time. This time it should have been 49-31, but we gave up that late touchdown to make it 49-39.
I could not believe your memory for detail, Coach G, when we spoke earlier, and I mentioned the fact that Isaiah Chavez, your true freshman walk-on starting quarterback's numbers in the victory over Fresno State, they were uncanny in their similarity to the numbers that Stoney Case put up in that particular game. You had all the details down pat, man. I guess that's a coach's photographic memory, huh?
You know, that stuff helps. I mean, I was blessed with a good memory for those things, and then being a sports buff and a Lobo buff, it probably helped a little bit that I was on that team. But, man, what a great day for Isaiah. And obviously, being named Mountain West Conference Player of the Week, I heard this morning Jeff Symbieta gave him the nickname QB5. It's going to stick. I like it. And it's kind of who we are, and it's kind of what 2020 was, but it's who we are. Blue-collar kid that worked his tail off, and when he had his opportunity, he made the most of it. And now we've had two walk-on quarterbacks get Mountain West Conference Player of the Week at University Stadium West in wins for our team. Justin Millay from Silver City did it back in 2001, I believe. And then obviously Isaiah did it this week. So pretty cool stuff.
Amazing to think that Isaiah Chavez is the first Lobo quarterback to win that award, Offensive Player of the Week in the Mountain West, since Donovan Portery. Isaiah Chavez was 5 years old, Coach. That's
pretty cool stuff. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that are coming back around, and history repeating itself from Coach Long's era. Isaiah getting that award. Our 8 sacks against Fresno State Saturday was the last time since we did against Utah in 2005. So, I mean, there's a lot of similarities that we're building on, which is kind of what I talked about when I took the job. We can get back to where we were and improve upon it. We've got a model that we've kind of really exploded with, and I believe in it, and it's starting to come to fruition. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying by any means are we a good football team yet. We still have a long way to go. But the second half of that game was some pretty good football from our kids. I'm proud of the way they fought, because there was plenty of opportunity, especially when your best football player gets kicked out of the game and you get down by 10 2 plays later, to say, well, here we go again, like happened against Utah State. Well, that wasn't the case on Saturday.
In the future, Coach, it won't be a big deal, but it has been 3 years since September of 2017. That was the last time the Lobos won back-to-back games. So no small feat to finish off the season the way you did.
No, I agree. And to hear Kyle Stapley talk about it after the game on Saturday, first time in his career since he's been here that we have won back-to-back games. I guess you get a little bit scarred and a little bit. I've been very blessed and very fortunate in my career, growing up with Coach Long as the head coach. I mean, we went 3, 4, 5, 6, and then once we got to 6, we stayed up there everywhere we went. I mean, when we were at our previous school, there was a time where we had the most wins in a 3-year period. We were the fourth best in the country. So winning has become what I'm used to. So early on, it was a big struggle. And obviously for our kids, winning 2 in a row meant a lot. Hopefully that becomes the standard around here. And I know as much as they enjoyed it on Saturday, probably after the Wyoming game, gave them a little bit more incentive, because something came to fruition of all the work they put in. It's pretty cool stuff.
Well, it's the start of a streak, and we're going to talk about it on the other side. We get to first half highlights of the Lobos' victory over Fresno State in Las Vegas next. Welcome back on your Lobo Coaches Show with the head football coach at UNM, Danny Gonzales. I'm Robert Portnoy. The Lobos knocked off Fresno State 49-39 in Las Vegas. Coach G, it's time for first half highlights.
All right, these will be fun. Now, we were trailing at halftime, which another door we knocked down, trailing after halftime, trailing after fourth quarters. Hopefully our kids don't worry about the scoreboard until the end. I was really disappointed with this bunt by Tyson at the very beginning. I mean, we give him the football almost at field goal range. Now we get him in third down, and Tavion Combs gets beat on a corner out right here. We need to do a better job of just making sure we know the situation on the field. And if he catches the receiver right there, instead of letting him have an open run to the corner, that ball's probably incomplete. And that comes with experience. I thought Manny Logan Green did a really nice job running the football. I mean, he's become a pretty good kickoff return specialist, punt returner. But I thought some of the fly sweep, and then they made a couple of big plays catching the ball between him and Cedric Patterson that, I was proud of the way our receivers are starting to progress along.
We talked about this on the broadcast, Coach G. This jet motion that you guys ran with Manny Logan Green set up a big run for Isaiah Chavez later on in the game.
It did, and Coach Wareheim and the offensive staff did a really good job of the game plan. One, things that Isaiah was going to be comfortable and be able to really lead and execute. Now, obviously, Isaiah knows the entire playbook, so they didn't have to dial back a lot. But they did a good job of getting him into a rhythm of the game early and using what he's good at. Now, Isaiah did a great job on a lot of those reads. And then he's an aggressive young man. I mean, it's funny when we talk about leaving the hotel, we're going to be the most physical team. And I talked to Isaiah, you're our last quarterback we have, so be smart. And then he takes one down the sideline later on from this touchdown and runs over a guy. Our sideline got juiced up on that, so he wasn't worried about it. And what a big run and a touchdown right here for him.
Yeah, his first career rushing touchdown as a New Mexico Lobo in his true freshman season. And boy, Coach G, you got after the quarterback. Cam Miller's first of 2 sacks on the day, the first of his career.
What a great day for Cam. I mean, he played hard. We had some ideas from film breakdown that we could get some pass rush stuff with them. We went with our 2D lineman package again, and it really caused them some trouble. I thought our linebackers did a great job. Now, early on in the game, we didn't do a very good job tackling as the receivers as they caught the ball. There was no catch tackle. It was catch, and then they would get 5 or 6 yards. In the second half, we did a significantly better job, and then they couldn't run the ball. Now, they did have an 84-yard run. Here's a touchdown that we have 2 guys with an opportunity to intercept. Right there, Tavion Combs, another play that I see the young man making in the future, and then Jarek Reed could have stepped in front of it.
Boy, this was a play where it looked like a Fresno State player took 2 shots, one from our punter Tyson Dyer's leg and then another from his teammate. But the roughing certainly helped the Lobos' cause.
We take this down and we score a touchdown. I thought this was a big momentum shift. And our guys got up. I hope that they're okay and they're not hurt. But what a turn of sequences right there. And then we take this drive. The offense actually – they take this down and they put it in the end zone. That's a well-executed deal because you give them the ball back. And what a great job between Marcus William and Isaiah right here. Isaiah did a nice job throwing the football on Saturday night also.
He had to navigate a little traffic there and kind of step up and then to his left to create space to make that throw. It was beautiful.
He stayed composed. He made a couple big throws. Now, a couple of them later on are so wide open because we were running the ball so successfully because our O-line was getting such good push up front that those guys were starting to come down to try and stop the run, and Kinslow and Marcus and those guys were open. Now, he made a couple big third down throws too. Now, this touchdown run right here, man, we've got 2 safeties that are out of position. We got a linebacker that takes on a block reaction the wrong way. We got a great defense call for this play that we don't execute, and it turns into an 86-yard touchdown. That was too bad. That one frustrated me on the sideline because we should make that play.
Here's Isaiah Chavez doing what he did this entire game, Coach G. Third down. You guys owned third down when you were on offense.
We did. I like to give Isaiah a hard time. Our QB5 is he's got a great personality. I told him, come on, man, you unhitch that trailer, you're going to get in the end zone again. But what a big third down conversion. And then, he's a tough young man. Getting yard. That was a third down play. That was a big 3rd down and 3 that Isaiah gave his body up again to get the first down. And then Bobby Cole's going to, I believe, walk in the end zone here. Great job by the O-line up front getting pushed. They don't even touch him. That's awesome.
Boy, the number of times we're going to see in this game Bobby Cole get through the first line of defense untouched is amazing. Your boys up front were incredible in this contest.
You know, they did a great job. They were physical. They set the tone. Even when we were down by 10, we just kept doing what we were doing, knowing that, you know, we're going to keep getting after them. Here's another sack by Ben Gonzalo, who had 2 on the night, now 3 on the season. Really stepped up big in the last couple weeks.
I love the pursuit here, relentless. I'm not sure why he didn't throw this ball away, but another Lobo sack, and Joey Noble, just a phenomenal season, maybe his final season as a Lobo.
You know, that Joey's one of those ones that I'm pretty sure is going to come back. That'll help him. It'll help us. But he did do a great job. And right here, Dante's got to come up with this interception. He misjudged it, thought it was going to be higher than it was. That'll be a big turnaround. We give the ball to our offense at the 50-yard line. Another big third down conversion right there by Isaiah, much similar to the Wyoming game. Now, we're still trailing at halftime. Nobody seemed to be worried about it. We made a couple of adjustments and a couple corrections at halftime. I told them, most physical team, the team that plays the hardest, the longest is going to win. And let's go out there and see if we can accomplish that in the second half.
Coach G, you mentioned that Joey Noble, good chance he'll come back for another season. I believe there were 24 seniors there at the finish that were out there with you in Las Vegas for the last game of the year. Are there a couple others that you think have a pretty good shot at coming back and playing more football?
You know, there are. The reason I mentioned Joey is because I had my personal meeting with him already today. I've got some meetings slated with those guys over the course of the next week. So most of those guys we won't announce until January, but there's a few of them that'll come back. Unfortunately, we don't have enough scholarships for all of them. There's a few of them that are ready to get on with their life. I think the 2 wins really gave them a taste of, I firmly believe this. There's no better adrenaline rush than winning a competitive sport like football. And you saw the reaction after the Wyoming game. I thought it was a little bit over the top outside. It wasn't in the locker room. And the Fresno State celebration was equally as fun inside, and they did it the right way.
Okay, let's take a timeout. Lobos down at the half, maybe the best half of football for New Mexico in this 2020 season, coming up after the break. Back with Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzales on your Lobo Coaches Show. Coach G, second half highlights now of the Lobos and Fresno State in Las Vegas.
You know, the second half, this drive came out. It was a 16-play drive that methodically just went down the field. There was 2 fourth down conversions, one on a 4th and 1, and then another one on Brandon Shook's penalty that he got knocked out of the game. We got to stop and got off the field. Now, we caused a turnover or a fumble right here, and we're not able to come up with it. That's one of the few times that we didn't. We're doing some good things running to the football and getting him on the ground. Here's the 4th down from Brandon Shook that was the last play of his season. It's too bad. I don't know if I agree with the call, but it is what it is, and they called it. And the best thing on the sideline was Brandon didn't have to leave with the new rule. He was into the game. He was still coaching up the guys, and nobody acted like it was a big deal. And we're going to lose Joey Noble here in a minute, and we'll talk about that one when it comes up. But we lose our 2 best players on defense, and our guys just acted like when Isaiah came up at QB, next man up. Now, Ronnie Rivers, they really wanted to get him the touchdown. We have an assignment error right there. This extra point for him puts him up by 10. Second time in the game we've been down by 10. Our kids didn't worry about it. They just kept playing. I thought the offense, though, came out on this drive and did a tremendous job getting an answer, because a 10-point lead, no big deal as long as you answer back right away, and we were able to.
So here's a play where they do a little extra at the end of the play, and it helps out the Lobos' cause as the whistle had already been blown, and they throw Isaiah Chavez down. They weren't afraid to call the personal foul penalties in this game now.
They were not. Here's a great toss by Isaiah to Connor Kinslow for his first catch, first touchdown of his career. What a heck of a way to get your first touchdown. And then there's the old gun shooter again. I mean, my goodness, he's trying to make a trademark out of that deal. As long as he does it with his teammates, I'm okay. But that was a big catch by Connor, a great answer by the offense. And then now they run the ball successfully right here, but from this point on, we're going to get after him pretty good until the final minute. That's
where you lost Joey Noble. Your defense did not blink, and Here's Jake Saltonstall get into the act in terms of the sacks. He had 8 of them. Just an incredible performance, and it was relentless. I thought their quarterback showed a lot of toughness. He might have been out of the ballgame on a couple of occasions.
You know what, Jake Hayner's a really good quarterback, and going into the game, our biggest concern was we knew we were going to be able to get pressure on him. I didn't know if we were going to be able to tackle him, and he's really good throwing the ball on the run. So we did, though. We got the 8 sacks, like you said. There's another third down conversion for Isaiah. Big holding penalty. I mean, there was a couple of penalties that kept knocking us back and getting us off scheduled downs. But I thought this was one of the bigger plays in the game. That's a great job by Cedric Patterson. He caught the ball short. He's able to get off and miss tackle right there and get the first down. That was huge. We were at a point right there where we're going to have to make a decision. Are we going for it or not? We got the first down, so I didn't have to make that call.
I know you coach your DBs to make that tackle and get the guy down short of the line to gain. Don't worry about playing the ball in that situation. The Lobos took full advantage. Bobby Cole showed more shake, I thought, in this game than I've seen in his whole career. A couple of times in the hole, he made moves, one of them for a touchdown where he undressed the guy.
You know, Bobby did a great job all around. The advantage that Bobby had, I mean, look at him right here, lead block on the fly sweep for Manny. The advantage that Bobby had on Saturday night was he was getting 5, 6, 7 yards downfield before he had to make anybody miss. And when you give a guy full steam ahead between him and Nate, when you do that, it's hard to tackle those guys in space. And I agree with you. I thought Bobby used his shake a little bit better, but he had an awful lot of opportunity because the guys in front were pushing those guys out of the way.
First multi-touchdown day of Nate Jones' career. He's going to have plenty more like that before he's done. Just a true freshman.
Well, I sure hope you're right. And then there's another sack by Cam Miller. Dante Martin or Devin Sanders was going to get him too. I mean, Jake was running for his life. Here's another one from Dion. Does a great job. Now, Jake ended up being okay. I was really worried for him. It looked like he was grabbing his knee, but he came back in because he's a tough kid. Right here, we got the stop, and then Bobby Cole once again untouched. Right now, our boys kind of had the momentum. We were tasting some blood, and boy, they were having fun. We were imposing our will at this point, and it was pretty fun.
Go hit your head on the goalpost there, young man. Not a single fingertip on him on that run. Bobby Cole had a career day, nearly 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. And great to see Pat Peake have such a terrific day.
You know, he did a really nice job. He zoned up when a linebacker peeled in coverage, and he snuck right underneath the quarterback's vision. Now our 14th takeaway on the season. 13th takeaway on the season. Excuse me. We're tied for the league lead in turnover margin. I think turnovers are a cosmic of running to the football and being aggressive. And we have more in a 7-game period than they have for a while around here, which is pretty cool. And to be atop of the conference in turnovers is a yearly goal. And I'm proud of our kids. Here, offensive line again. Look at him. I mean, Bobby Cole's 15 yards downfield before a guy dives and tags his hip like it's flag football. I mean, that's awesome from your offensive line when you get that kind of push. And then here he goes. Nice little shake, walk into the end zone.
Oh, that was a beautiful move in the hole. And, just another near 300-yard rushing day, Coach G. Boy, offense is easy when you run the ball like that.
You know, it does help. Now, this touchdown right here really disappointed me. That's situational football. We were trying to play, I hate the word prevent, but we were trying to let them catch the ball and tackle them in bounds. We get down to the red zone and we've been a little bit more aggressive and play man, and we give up a touchdown. Once again, situational defense got to be better. And then, here's our hands team. The young man that came up with this, Tyson Dyer, our punter. I think obviously your punter should have great hands. He has to handle those snaps. And so we gave him an opportunity to be on the hands team, and that's why he was out there. That's a big-time play for the young man to go up and get that ball, disregard his body, and come down with it for the victory. Hey, there's a great formation for the Lobos. That's pretty fun stuff right there.
Fun to see a senior, too, and Tyson Dyer, 6'3", 6'4", go up and get that ball and bring it down on the onside kick, and one of the best punters in the history of the program. Maybe not his best day overall to finish off the season, but he's a weapon now.
You know, there's no doubt, a big-time weapon, and some pretty cool stuff. You know, that victory formation we were just talking about there. If you're watching the game on TV, the last series, we had put some of our younger guys in there that hadn't played very much. And when we got to the point where we got the first down and we were going to be able to run the victory formation, Teton Saltis, Kyle Stapley, Austin Cook, they all went in there themselves and sent those guys behind them to the sideline. That's how important it was for them to get that feeling and to run that formation. That's how special it is. And, boy, that's good stuff. When they get the taste of that and that's what they want, that's some really cool stuff.
Well, they deserved it. They earned it. And the Lobos finished off the season with back-to-back wins over Wyoming and Fresno State. We come back on the other side of the timeout. We wrap up your Lobo Coaches Show. Welcome back for a final time on your Lobo Coaches Show. With head man at UNM, Danny Gonzales, I'm Robert Portnoy. Our last show for football, Coach G, an incredible response on social media after your first win over Wyoming. What about what you saw when you got back to University Stadium after the long bus ride back home from Vegas after the win over Fresno State?
You know, it was some pretty special stuff. After being on the bus for almost 8 hours, we had a little slowdown in traffic between Gallup and Grant, some black ice. There was about 50 cars lined up in our parking lot, flashing their lights, honking, having a little bit of a social distance welcoming. It was really cool. The kids on the buses were cheering, very appreciated. They spent 42 days in the hotel, and to come home to that with 2 victories, you know, it showed the community engagement. It showed what we talk about, what we think we can have around here. There's a lot of excitement right now about Lobo football. And I said this on the radio today, when you're talking about Lobo football on the day after men's basketball opened up their season, there's something pretty special going on. Now, a year ago, when I took this job, if you would have told me that on December 5th, they were dumping water on my head on the sideline, and on December 12th, we were celebrating a victory, I might have been able to run for governor around here and won. That would have meant we were Mountain West Conference champions and a whole bunch of fun things. Not the case, but you know what? The celebration in the last 2 weeks was well-deserved by our kids. Obviously, we have to learn everything around here. They handled success from one week to the other without getting crazy, and they got themselves prepared for another battle. And coming home to that welcoming, that was pretty special.
How special was it to be able to get a season in, period, Coach G? It was a 12-gamer that was going to be a no-gamer that should have been an 8-gamer and became a 7-gamer, and your guys fought through so much adversity and did an unbelievable job for 6 weeks in Las Vegas to gut it out and then finish it off with those 2 victories.
You know, I agree. Getting this season in was something else. And you really have to give credit to our administration from the top down, President Stokes, Eddie Nunez, David Williams, to step out on a limb like they did for us to make it a possibility to compete. I think New Mexico did it the way the rest of the country should have done it. Now, I've said it, I thought we should have done it here in Albuquerque. But we isolated our kids. We created a true bubble. We defeated COVID from our team from October when we had those positives, not a single positive in over 3,000 tests till the end of the season. That means that we did it right, and our administration had the right idea. I'm proud to be a part of them. I'm proud to be a part of our entire organization. You know, when I came back here to be the head coach of the University of New Mexico, which I am really honored to be, I wanted to come back with the premise that we would have a chance to win championships. And they promised me they would support it in that way. It would have been real easy to say, sorry, guys, we can't play. And they didn't. They went the other way. And like everything else, we found a way. We found a way to compete. We found a way to keep them safe. And I'm so proud about the way New Mexico football handled the situation. We are New Mexico, and I'm proud to be a Lobo.
Coach Gonzales, it was a privilege working with you for your first season as head coach at your alma mater. I can't wait for the future.
You know, I'm excited too. I mean, I think we've laid a good foundation. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We did win our final 2 games. We're not a good football team yet. We will be. We got a lot of work ahead of us. It's a long road. I'm excited right now to get us back in the weight room. We've missed that. I'm excited about spring ball and those things. I mean, we're already working on schedules for that. It's going to be 2021, fall of 2021, and Houston Baptist is going to be right around the corner. I can't wait to get that season started. I know our kids are going to be excited, but we have a lot of work to do before we get there. I appreciate you, Robert. I mean, this has just been a fun year. This TV show has been great. I mean, with Frank and Chase and Stanley and yourself, it's been a joy to work with you guys. It's been fun. I hope we've given Lobo Nation something to watch and talk about. This thing will continue to grow like Lobo football, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
For Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzales and the entire crew, I'm Robert Portnoy. Congrats again, Coach G, on 2 victories to close out your first year as head coach. That'll do it for us on this Lobo Coaches Show. So long, everybody, and go Lobos.
Go Lobos.